Joshua, thanks. Right now, Arkansas State Police issuing an Amber Alert for a 16-year-old girl from Wisconsin. Sophia Franklin was last seen at her home in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin on Sunday. According to police there, she is believed to be with 40-year-old Gary Day from Austin, Arkansas. Day was last seen at the home of Sophia Franklin on Monday morning. They're believed to be traveling in a 2014 Black Buick Lacrosse sedan with a Pennsylvania or Arkansas license plate. You can see those tag numbers on your screen there. And if you see them, please call your local police department or 911 right away.
At the Madison County Courthouse today, opening statements began in the capital murder trial for Hunter Chenoweth. Images here show him entering the courthouse this morning. He's accused of killing his mom, Tammy, stepfather James Stan McGee, and sister Cheyenne in February of 2021 at a home in the Wesley community of Madison County. Today, both the prosecution and defense made their opening statements to a jury of 6 men and 6 women with 2 alternates. The prosecution laid a roadmap out for the jury, claiming that what started out as an argument between Hunter, his girlfriend at the time, and his mom led to 3 dead bodies. The defense asking the jury to keep an open mind and listen to that evidence closely. The prosecution ended the day calling just more than 10 witnesses. Reporter Jacob Luthi is in the courtroom. He'll have more for us at 5, and he'll share more information on the mistrial motion that was brought up by the defense.
Also new at 4, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders unveiling her Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies legislation to improve maternal health across Arkansas. It would establish presumptive Medicaid eligibility for pregnant women, which means pregnant women can get prenatal care while they complete that Medicaid application. Also offers reimbursements for doulas and community health workers and establishes Medicaid coverage for remote ultrasounds, remote blood pressure, and glucose monitoring. The governor says it would be all facilitated by the $13 million maternal health commitment that she outlined in her budget.
We're learning that judges are putting on hold some of President Trump's plans to downsize the federal workforce and address immigration. A judge has ruled that federal employees will have until at least Monday afternoon to consider taking that buyout when he'll hold another hearing on the issue. Unions representing federal workers have sued, saying the buyout violates the law and that the government doesn't have the funds to back up the plan. The White House says more than 40,000 federal employees have already accepted this offer as President Trump tries to slash the size of the government.
We encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer. If they don't want to show up to the office, if they want to rip the American people off, then they're welcome to take this buyout, and we'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
In a separate legal challenge to the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship for children born to migrant parents, a federal judge in Seattle granted a national injunction calling the order, quote, clearly unconstitutional.
President also doubling down on his proposal to take ownership of Gaza and relocate millions who live there. But the president says U.S. troops would not be involved. Chris Livesay reports the plan's still not sitting well with many in the Middle East.
It sounds simple on paper. Gaza's destroyed. To rebuild it, move the people. But in practice, they number more than 2 million with memories of past displacements and names like Mustafa Al-Ghazar. I say to Mr. Trump, we will not move to any other country. Skyscrapers are not for me. I accept living in a tent and under the rubble. Israel's defense minister has praised Trump's once unthinkable proposal, while emphasizing that Gazans should be allowed to leave voluntarily, with exit options by land, sea, and air under a plan he instructed the military to draft. Average Israelis traumatized by the Hamas terror attack of October 7th aren't quick to dismiss Trump's wager.
I remember the beaches looked like the French Riviera. I remember people who were very satisfied, and there was no Hamas there.
Today, Hamas still holds 79 hostages there. How Trump's vision for Gaza impacts their fate and the ceasefire is a question, like many, that haunts Israelis. Like the brother and sister of Keith Siegel, an American-Israeli released last weekend.
But do you worry that the hostages could be forgotten amidst all of this?
The hostages will not be forgotten. They won't. can't happen. We're not going to let it happen. The world can't let it happen. They won't be forgotten. They must come home.
Families of hostages, like most Israelis we heard from, are torn. They credit President Trump for pushing the release of the hostages in this latest ceasefire, but worry how Hamas will respond if they think Gaza is about to be turned into a development project. Chris Livesay, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
With the countdown to the Super Bowl Sunday underway, security is already tight in New Orleans. Hundreds of armed National Guard members, along with thousands of federal, state, and local agents, are on the ground ensuring safety. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary visited the French Quarter to oversee some of the security measures.
Tell you that right now we have no specific credible threats to this event at the Super Bowl.
Authorities installed more physical barriers to protect the streets of the French Quarter. Almost all vehicles are prohibited from entering the enhanced security zone. However, under state law, visitors are allowed to carry concealed weapons.
And if you're headed to the Super Bowl party this weekend, there's one thing you don't want on the menu: foodborne illness. 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley joins us now with some reminders to keep yourself and your guests safe.
The USDA warns that food safety mistakes during big gatherings like the Super Bowl can lead to serious illness, but following a few simple steps can help keep everyone safe. I spoke with a food safety expert about some things to keep in mind. Super Bowl parties mean tables full of wings, dips, and deli trays, but if food sits out for too long, bacteria can make your guests sick. According to the CDC, foodborne illnesses send more than 100,000 people to the hospital each year. With shared dishes and food left out for extended periods, Super Bowl parties create the perfect conditions for foodborne illness to spread. The USDA follows 4 key food safety steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill. It means wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, keep raw meats separate from other foods, cook meats like wings to the proper temperature, and refrigerate perishable foods within 2 hours.
Once it's sat out longer than 2 hours, that's when bacteria begins growing rapidly inside of the food. And the scary thing about it is that it may look perfectly fine, but internally, there's a lot of bacteria in there, and this can get us all sick. And we don't want to be sick on the big game. We recommend you follow the rule of keeping hot foods hot and your cold foods cold. And by doing this, you can serve your food safely throughout the entire duration of the game.
He says the danger zone for food sitting out is between 40 degrees and 140 degrees. So if you have a hot dish like a soup or a pizza, it's best to keep it in a warming tray or a slow cooker. Or if you have something that needs to stay cold, like maybe a cold dip, keep it in the fridge or on ice throughout the game. Morgan Wrigley, 5 News.